Good evening and welcome to Prime News on My Major Premier live from the economic capital of the country. My name is Genda. Belgian Blanche Keng human rights group Stand Up Cameroon has revealed that there are still instances of gross human rights violation in the country despite calls for a ceasefire and respect for all fundamental rights of the citizens. The group made this known during their June report, which was revealed today here in Douala. Fonquinta tells us more in the following report.
Tuesday, July 13, 2021, Human Rights Working Group of Stand Up for Cameroon in its 6th report reviewed the level of violence and human rights violation that occurred from February 1 to June 2021 throughout the country.
The report has not greatly changed. To me, I don't see any changes because we still have so many violence that are being taking place. We have killings in the northwest and in the southwest as well as in the far north. We have the ambas who are using each day passing more sophisticated weapons like the rocket launchers which we heard about, and it's really cause for concern. We also find ourselves with the situation of Gabu. That actually there was a hearing with respect to that, but no decision has been made. And we are still hoping that there is a decision that will be made. We still have political prisoners who are still in prison.
In its report, the group paid keen attention to major security crises in the country, including the Anglophone crisis, Boko Haram conflict in the north, and the management of funds against COVID-19 pandemic, which could not be presented to the National Assembly.
We also have a situation of the COVID gate that our funds are missing. We have 180 billion that we've been asking up to today, and we've had no feedback with respect to that. You can clearly see that from this, we really have a problem of bad governance on the national territory because no full statistics. The Cameroonian citizens are not informed. The presentation of the audit was supposed to be done at the National Assembly 24 hours before then. It was removed from the agenda.
The observation of the Human Rights Working Group revealed that situations of violence are still on the increase. People are still dying on a daily basis. Kidnappings, explosions, gender-based violence, amongst others, are still ongoing. The group cited the case of some 6 divisional delegates kidnapped in the southwest and government silence, terming it act of irresponsibility.
Our government is not responsible because you can't send people to the field, you can't appoint people and ensure that you inform them and tell them, no, go, you will be secured, and they have been abducted. One has been killed, and up to today we are getting no information that the one who was buried, it was not publicly known, it was just done silently. Those who are still in the hands of the amber guys, nothing is said about them.
With growing insecurity and violence on the rise in the country, the report of the Human Rights Working Group urged the government to ensure strict respect for all Cameroonians and torture and other degrading treatments, release those arrested in total violation of Cameroonian laws and procedures, and provide clear and objective information on the actual situation in different conflict areas.
10 suspected bandits have been apprehended by forces of law and order here in the littoral region of the country. They were presented to the press recently by elements of the 10th District Police Station in Dogbon, Douala. Head of the operation, Commissioner Elongbule, says this is Operation Keep the Ghetto Clean. Details in the following report compiled by Eileen Sama.
Operation Clean the Ghetto, launched by Commissioner Elongbole of the 10th District Police Station, Dogbon, Douala, paid off a few weeks later as these 10 suspects accused of theft, aggression, sale and consumption of marijuana were tracked down. The items recuperated from them by the law enforcement officers of the 10th District Police Station, Dogbon, included SIM cards, phones, TV sets, speakers, marijuana, as well as other hard drugs. According to Commissioner Elongbole Mbole, the 10 suspects were apprehended thanks to efforts of the police unit in charge of analyzing criminal statistics and Operation Clean the Ghetto.
For some time now, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, my office in charge of analyzing criminal statistics indicated to us that the alert calls was coming from 2 angles as concerned the cannabis. It is from there that we launched the tracking operations to put an end to it.
He added that last Monday, more information came through indicating that the gang they were in search of is in Dogbon around the police station as well as in Misoke.
Lundi dernier, autour de 6 heures du matin.
Last Monday, around 6 a.m., we got information that what we were looking for is rather in Dogbon, just behind the police station, about 300 meters. It is rather terrible. And also in the Misoke neighborhood at Palais, which they called there. It is here that I and my men opened an investigations and arrested a good number of suspects.
The gang was presented to the public on Monday, July 12, before taken to the State Council or Court of First Instance, where they will be tried, while the population of Dogbon has been called to turn in all suspects in the neighborhood, working in hand with the police.
According to official statistics, over 220,000 people have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine, but only over 27,000 individuals have received the second jab of the vaccine. Minister of Public Health Manahuda Malachi has continued to encourage Cameroonians to get vaccinated against the deadly COVID-19 pandemic, still creating awareness about the third phase of the virus in the country. Details in the following report done for us by Audrey Zatza.
Despite preventive measures announced by the government and numerous vaccination recommendations to fight against the deadly COVID-19 virus, new cases remain relatively high and vaccination curve low. According to statistics presented during an evaluation meeting presided by Minister of Public Health Dr. Manahuda Malachi, 81,467 positive cases have been recorded, making it 1,377 new contaminations in a month, with 1,330 death cases. 220,576 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, but only 27,975 received the second injection to date. As such, a third wave of the COVID-19 Delta variant, already circulating in sub-Saharan African countries, is feared by the Cameroonian government, especially with the upcoming African Cup of Nations.
We must particularly take shelter from the possible third wave. That is why the specter of this third wave Delta variant circulating in many sub-Saharan African countries and in anticipation of major international events like the African Cup of Nations to be held next year in the month of January are all elements that will necessarily lead us to new strategies to be able to face this pandemic.
According to the Secretary General of the Cameroon Ministry of Health, vaccination is the key to emerging from this health crisis. We had proposed that the strategies which had been used for the fight against HIV/AIDS could equally be deployed for COVID-19 by involving religious leaders, opinion leaders, and then informing and raising awareness on the benefits of the vaccination, and above all, to get not only the health staff, but also the community in general, not to trust everything that happens on social media concerning vaccination. Worthy of note is the fact that the national vaccination campaign, which started in July 7th and was supposed to end on Sunday, July 11th, has been extended to July 16th, coming Friday.
Chinese ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Wang Yiwu, has pledged his country's commitment to continue supporting water and energy projects in Cameroon. He was granted audience by the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Kavaye Gejibril, recently. Darling Gonde compiled the following.
Cameroon is counting 50 years of mutual trust and cooperation ties with China, and as the days go by, the partnership keeps getting better with new priorities being set. The Chinese ambassador to Cameroon, His Excellency Wang Yingwu, reassures the House Speaker Cavalier Jibril during his recent visit to the country of their intentions to accompany the country in many projects. After investing in the health, road and sports sectors, China is exploring new avenues.
As concerns the project on potable water, we have reiterated China's support. The first phase has been completed with the construction of the water factory in Douala. We have now begun works on the supply unit in Sanaga, Yaoundé. These projects will address the water shortage in 9 cities in Cameroon. In the energy sector, we are working in the Benin and Warak Dam.
Work is equally progressing satisfactorily in the 55 billion CF francs edifice to host Cameroon's National Assembly built by the China Urban Construction Group.
Over 50 Cameroonians have been awarded by the Watchdog Tribune for their efforts in ensuring nation building and national unity. Amongst these 50 laureates were 2 journalists from My Media Prime Television. Details with Nora Kakibi.
2 journalists of My Media Prime Television have been awarded by the National Press Award Committee of the Watchdog Tribune newspaper. Charles Kebwa, My Media Prime Bamenda-based correspondent, was awarded the Best Northwest Journalist in Crisis Reporting. Meanwhile, Isaac Nzitansi, popularly known as Awilo, received the award for Cameroon's Best Innovative Pidgin News Journalist of the Year. At the conference hall of the Bafoussam City Council recently, the awards were given to some meritorious Cameroonian patriots and institutions for outstanding performance. The award is to recognize the peace efforts of some Cameroonians who have been promoting peace and national unity within the context of the socio-political crisis characterized by secessionist tendencies. Charles Kebwa, one of the outstanding laureates, expressed his feelings.
Well, it's quite interesting that I was nominated as one of the laureates. It's all to give thanks to God, and I dedicate this award to Peter King's Manuel, who actually made me to what I am. I dedicate it to building up My Media Prime, My Media family, and those all who are like, we call them IDPs. I dedicate it to them, and I say, peace is all we need today. Peace is all. Yes.
The celebrated laureates are the outcome of a random sample survey conducted by carefully selected media professionals. The managing director of My Media Prime Television, Kum Leonard, encouraged and congratulated the laureate on his milestone achievement.
You are important. We should not be seen as the air situation. We should not be pouring oil into the olive flame. So we see how still report objectively, accurate, but responsibly. Responsibly means that if there is complete chaos, you will not be able to see their report. So
some of the laureates were exceptionally voted for award in gold, and others voted for award in silver for their brilliant contributions to peace and national unity in the country. According to the Watchdog Tribune publisher, Dr. Ezekiel, if not for the love of the country demonstrated by some patriotic Cameroonians, the situation in the country would have been worsened.
Away from the country, fresh violence has erupted in South Africa following the court's decision to jail former President Jacob Zuma. The protest that began last week has developed into looting, arson, and gunfire spreading to Johannesburg and other parts of the country. South African military has managed to quell the violence. Stay with us for updates of these events, and we'll definitely bring you the details or updates as they happen. Away from that, we now take you to sports news. Members of the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT, are deliberating on the text governing the body. The administrative attitude of the divisional officer for Yaoundé 2 prior to today's meeting caught the attention of the press this morning. Henry Wana compiled the following.
They came out in their numbers as usual.
whenever the roll call is launched to rectify and adopt the new status of the football governing body, FECAFOOT, which has for several years been posing lot of controversy. But that which caught the attention and made every tongue wagging was a squabble from the divisional officer of Yaoundé 2 to have banned and within 2 hours granted a request from the interim team headed by Mbombon Joya to hold the General Assembly. According to Mamadi Mahamat, this is not the time to start playing the blame game, but rather a time to better reflect on how to give our country a befitting image in the upcoming AFCON.
Ce qui est important à dire, sans verser dans la politique, c'est de dire que nous devons savoir rester sereins.
He further adds he was in a tight situation to give a firm decision about the holding of the General Assembly, given that he got a series of complaints from different parties. But at the end of the day, Cameroonians should be hopeful. This should be the last stroke on the camera's back to assist the government smoothly organize the AFCON 2021. The night seemed to be very long, as the power tussle in the Chinga House has been long overdue. One thing Cameroonians desire to see will be a new chapter free from wranglings within the Cameroon Football Federation, FECAFOOT.
Before we end today's edition of Prime News on My Major Prime, information reaching our studio say the board meeting of the Daniel Muna Memorial Clinic, initially scheduled to take place today, July 13, 2021, has been postponed to a later date. Reasons being stakeholders were not given documents as regards the management of the clinic. Details with Lasha Kinsley.
Contrary to public opinion, the Muna's children are not fighting. These are the words of George Muna, one of the sons of late S.T. Muna. He was speaking this Tuesday at the Daniel Muna Memorial Clinic in Bonanjo, Douala after a failed board meeting of the clinic.
We came for a board meeting. We said the board meeting should be cancelled until we have those documents. When you're going to consider administration, you must have documents that prepare you for that meeting.
Administrative documents.
And we asked during the last meeting, we asked for documents which were not given. Okay. So we came this time, so we got a lawyer to ask not to fight the clinic or the board, but to ask that they should give us those documents. They would come to the meeting. It was not given to us.
Chembifon Deboe Muna, son of late Edwin Muna, a board member, explains everything has been going on with the clinic until recently.
So all of us came. The clinic is a SR. It was previously Polyclinic Bonanjo. A few years ago, they changed it to Daniel Muna Memorial Hospital, but it's still a SR. So it's managed by a board of directors, which have made up of the 8 families. So for many years, it was working okay. When Daniel Muna passed, it was okay because the other brothers were managing. For the past 5 years, we have had 5 members that are deceased, but they have their administrator, their children that are around. And we have 3 active members that are around, precisely George Muna, Ama Muna, and Akere Muna. But what is happening is that each time we come for a board meeting, as you can see today, we had a board meeting, Akere Muna did not show up. So Akere Muna doesn't come to no board meeting. And he's manipulating things from the back. When you talk about sale of the property, I don't know. But there are many things he's doing from the back. So we also heard rumors that he wants to sell the building and leave.
He also explains that Akere Muna has been sentenced by a court in Yaoundé for forgery of family inheritance.
But if you guys go on Google and you type Akere Muna, condamné, you people will see that the same Akere Muna has been condemned in court of Yaoundé at first instance and at court of appeal for faux et usage de faux mauvaise pratique. You will see. Et on l'a laissé because he's outside on probation. So he's been condemned and he appealed at the Supreme Court. So the matter is at the Supreme Court. But Akere Muna continued to manage. So today the minister went to court to say he continues to manage, even though there are 2 court decisions against him. Being the smart lawyer that he didn't show up, because it's wrong for him to continue to manage.
Former Minister of Arts and Culture, Amatutu Muna, was also in court earlier this Tuesday, July 13, to press hard for documents that were supposed to be provided to all shareholders before the board meeting of today, which failed.
Clinic, when he doesn't have the right to manage the clinic, that's one. Second, the clinic is plumbed by embezzlement. The clinic is a SR. At the end of the month, they wire the excess money to Akere Muna's account. And he takes the money and do whatever he wants to do. You guys remember the elections of 2018. It was funded from money from the clinic. This is not a political party.
The real problem, as revealed by the shareholders, is that the 5 of the 8 sons of ST Muna feel cheated all this while because there has been no accountability on how the clinic has been functioning.
We've come to the end of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being with us. See you tomorrow at 6:30 for another edition. Lasha Kingsley coordinated the news, produced by Desmond Akeba. My name is Peldrine Blanche Keng. Stay tuned at 7 p.m. You'd have a fresh edition of Prime Hour with Kim Leonard. Happy viewing. Good night.